My name is Juan Francisco, and I'm a psychic medium and tarot card reader. I've always been curious about the supernatural, the paranormal, and psychic abilities, and I'm here to share my stories and interview folks who want to share their own stories with us. Let's get to it. Hello from a very humid, hot, but also rainy New York City. The weather's been really off. It's been really hot, not like a sauna. It's not that bad. I'm from Miami. I know what that sounds like, or what that feels like to live in a sauna kind of a city. It's not been like a sauna, but it's been pretty hot in New York City, and I know it's been hot in a lot of other places in the world. So now it's like sort of rainy. It's Saturday, and it's like gloomy and very windy, but like it's warm wind. I don't know. The weather's crazy, but I hope you are all, whatever day you're listening to this episode, you're doing well, you're enjoying the weather, whether you're a rain kind of person or a sunny sun kind of person. Hope you're having a good day. I really wanted this episode to focus on pushing yourself to the next step in development as a psychic or just as a person and whatever you're doing at the moment, whatever you're focusing on. And a couple of things have happened recently to me that, as a developing psychic and as a business owner, that make me want to do this episode, that make me feel excited to talk about this with you all. So I wanted to share that in the past 2 to 4 or 5 months, it's a big range. Let's say the past 5 months, you probably have heard me say on this podcast that I feel like things are sort of at like on a plateau or standstill in my psychic development, particularly my mediumship development. I've mentioned in the past that I'm a part of a mediumship circle, and it's a mediumship circle, open to all levels of development. And I feel like I'm at a place where I'm delivering the same kind of messages, or not the same kind of messages. The ease that messages come through with, it's been the same over time in the past several months in this mediumship circle that I'm a part of. And it makes me wonder. I've been wondering, am I ready for something else? And I thought for a moment, do I join another, like an additional mediumship circle? What do I do? So long story short, I'm still part of that mediumship circle, and I think the person who facilitates it listens to this podcast. So hello, and Kristen, and I am not going anywhere. Don't worry in regards to the circle. But I definitely have been feeling in the last several months that I am just I'm on this plateau. Things are just kind of coasting and nothing has been happening growth-wise for me. And I want to first say that I'm grateful for that, because it means that I've reached a point where I feel comfortable with my ability, expressing it, practicing it, doing it for business, which sounds icky to say, but that's the reality of it. And about a month ago, I think I submitted a question to the Mediumship Matters podcast by Hannah McIntyre, because she welcomes listener questions, and I am a listener. And I submitted a question or two, both of which she answered in the last 3 weeks in the month of July. And the first question I asked her, I told her that I'm at this place where I feel like I'm starting to take this all for granted, to take mediumship for granted, this ability for granted. And it's not that I'm bored. It's just like, oh, just another day. That's my attitude. It's another day, another reading, another day. And things still surprise me. They do. When they come up in readings, when Spirit really delivers something incredible, it's amazing to me. For the most part, it's like, oh, another day, another message from Spirit. And I told her in my listener question that I recorded for her that I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to take it for granted at all. I want to keep being excited and enthusiastic, extremely enthusiastic about this work. And so I submitted my question to her that week whenever I did it. We're going to keep that in mind, that I submitted that question to her. A couple weeks ago, I'm speaking to a new colleague of mine who I'm really enjoying their company a lot, and they are also a psychic medium and a healer as well, energy healer. And she was telling me that she thinks I'm ready for a next step, and she told me that she wants to collaborate with me for in-person events. And in my head, I'm like, that's exciting, but also terrifying. It's terrifying. And I'm thinking, I've honestly have always seen myself in front of a group of people, either doing mediumship or talking about this stuff or writing a book. I just see myself being in front of a lot of people talking about this stuff or channeling. I really do. It sounds exciting to me. Maybe that's my inner performer because I grew up wanting to be a performer, a singer, an actor, a dancer. Maybe that's my inner performer saying that, feeling that way. And it's that part of myself that wants to tap into mediumship and performance at the same time. Do mediumship authentically in front of a group of people. So when this person proposes to me this idea, I was I was excited but also terrified, slightly terrified, not too terrified. And so I've been keeping it in mind as she keeps mentioning it to me, the times that I see her. And then in the last 2 weeks, Hannah McIntyre releases her podcast episode in which she answers my question, answers my concern that I shared earlier with you, the listener. And she says, Juan, this is a sign that, first of all, this is normal, but this also may be a sign that you are ready for the next step, the next level. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, maybe this means I am ready to read in front of people, to demonstrate in front of a group of people. Hey, Sella. That was Sella shaking her booty. So maybe I am ready. I thought that's insane that she says that. And I had just had these conversations with this colleague of mine who wants to do an in-person event with me. And so I see this colleague again in the last 2 weeks after I listened to Hannah's episode answering my concern, my question. And this colleague brings up the idea of the in-person event again and says maybe you can do like a gallery reading, like do mediumship. We can do mediumship readings together, or you do it on your own. We can talk about it. I told her, it's so funny that you say that because, and I explained to her that I had gotten this feedback from this other colleague, that colleague being Hannah McIntyre on her podcast, about the next step. And I told this new colleague, I feel like I've been like, it's sort of been just coasting. And I feel like it must mean that I'm ready for something new, for to develop even more. And I think that being in front of a group of people may just be that thing. I don't know, but it sounds exciting to me. And so here I am. Today, I responded to an email in which this new colleague mentioned doing something in October with me. Now, it's not solidified, so I'm not going to share any details or any ideas as to what this could be. I'm expecting it to be a gallery reading where I'm in front of at least 15 people, if they show up, doing a group mediumship reading and just picking up on whatever comes through for somebody in the audience, in the crowd. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, and I won't share a date. I won't share location. I have to solidify it with this colleague of mine. However, I sent the email saying, hey, thank you so much for wanting to do something in October with me. Here's what I'm thinking, and let's talk about it. And here are a few dates. And I even told her, listen, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I feel nervous but very excited. So I would love to get your tips on conducting something like this. And she had offered to me, like, I can tell you, we can talk about how to conduct an event like this before you do it, which is very gracious of her. So this may happen, and if it doesn't happen this time around, you know what? I think it's the universe. I think it's God and spirit showing me that, you're ready for the next step. You're ready for something new. They're confirming that for me. So I hope this happens, this event. I will let you all know if it does. For those of you in New York City, I will provide the details if it does. But as of now, it is very TBD, to be determined, to be announced. So let's see what happens. Another thing that makes me want to record this episode is I just filed for an LLC for my business. And I say that with hesitancy because I actually filed for an LLC back in 2020 when I was without a job. And I work in public relations full time, as most of you know already. And I filed an LLC in 2020 for my own PR business. And I just canceled that LLC in the last few months because I figure, you know what? I don't see myself doing public relations on my own as a business in the future. And so I canceled it. And so now I just registered, or I just applied to register for a whole new LLC. The LLC being being all not related directly, completely 100%, my psychic mediumship and tarot card business, but mostly under the umbrella of psychic mediumship and or just psychic abilities. And that will help me, with filing at the end of the year, taxes and all that very exciting, thrilling stuff. But it also just feels official. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to do this LLC registration process until I had all the funds to do it. And what I did use, I used a credit card, and I did it. And I feel embarrassed to say that because I really don't like using a credit card. But I felt like, you know what? I've been doing readings for 3 years. When I filed for my public relations LLC, I had been without a job. I was doing freelance PR work for several months, and then I did that. I feel way more excited and sure that forming this LLC business will be more long term than that was. If I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm enjoying it, why not make it official through the government, which is so boring, so exciting. But why not make it official? Why not make it official and protect my business name, protect my name and my business name, which are both the same thing. I'm hoping that as soon as it's approved that it will be Juan Francisco LLC. But I'll let you all know. Once it's approved, I will announce it on my social media. So I decided, I'll be very honest with you all. I get maybe 1 or 2 readings booked a week. I would like to increase that for business purposes. But I also don't want to come from this place of lack and scarcity because I do have what I need to live with my 9 to 5 job. I do also want to increase my reading business. And I feel like even though I didn't have all the funds to register for the LLC, I have so much confidence that doing that now will set things in motion, and that this feels weird to say, the abundance will come later. I really feel that. I feel so good saying that, even though it feels icky because I feel like as a spiritual, intuitive worker, saying the word abundance when it comes to money, it just feels very icky. But hey, I get paid to do readings. That's the fact of the matter. I can't escape that, as weird as it feels to say it out loud. I get paid to do readings. And I would like to increase my business, which means I would like to make more money so that I could invest in my development, invest in maybe one day writing a book. It's also in my far future, I think. I don't know what the heck I would write about because there are many books out there about mediumship and all that good stuff. I just see myself being out there big time. And it's not happening right now, but I just feel it bubbling. And I think setting the LLC application in motion is going to propel me even more into that. I just feel it. I feel this so much I'm getting a little emotional right now, which is very sappy. So I apologize. The fact that I told you I used a credit card, and it just feels like it's TMI, but you know what? This is real, and it's not like I'm giving you my credit card number or any other private information, but I feel exposed. I feel exposed, I guess. And I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe I got to explore that. Maybe there's shame attributed to that I haven't explored yet. But I'm wanting to propel forward. So whether it's this event that I might do in October, TBD TBA, or it's forming my LLC, my official business, I I just feel so good about it. I feel so good. And so I wanted to share this with you because I'm excited and I want to tell you. Maybe if you're feeling like you're enjoying the thing you're doing, but it's kind of like you're coasting or things are just at a standstill, maybe that means you're ready for a next step and maybe you're ready to propel yourself forward. And it may feel nerve-wracking and scary. And listen, I'll be honest, I'm usually a scaredy cat when it comes to jumping to the next step of things. I struggle with self doubt. I struggle with self worth. I struggle with putting myself forward and up front. So the fact that I'm doing these two things, one of them, which I mean, it's not solidified, but the fact that I'm working on these two things and I feel so good about it says a lot about me because I tend to struggle a lot with pushing myself to put myself out there or put myself forward. So I just feel so excited and I want you all to feel the same thing too. It's like, I feel this good stuff. I want to share it with you. I want to share the good stuff with you. You can do it too. So I may sound like a little bit life coachy. I don't know, but maybe not. But I just think if you're listening and you feel like you're excited about something you're doing, but it's just like you feel like you're on a plateau, maybe this is your sign. This episode is your sign to look for the next step and pursue it. And if you can't afford it, do it in baby steps. Do it in little baby steps. Eat a little bit of the crumbs before you get to that final dish that's at the end of the path. Enjoy the crumbs. Just go for it at the pace that you can. Why not? And I think that in this day and age, it is tough. Money is a thing. It costs money to do some things we want to do. And it really stinks. I really dislike that. But maybe there are piecemeal ways you can do what you want to do. I mean, look, if I had all the money in the world, I would, I don't know, produce a music album, sing, record, and produce a music album, as well as write a book, as well as take 3 or 4 global trips, international trips a year. I would do so much, right? But in the meantime, maybe I can take a little day trip to upstate New York. Maybe I can use Logic Pro to create a song. Maybe I can find little ways to achieve baby steps of the final result that I want. Or maybe there are other ways to achieve that final result. It may not be what we want it to be at the moment, but it leads us there somehow. Maybe if it's a song you want to write and you want it to sound studio ready, radio ready, maybe you don't have the equipment or the means or the money to do that. But if you just try and edit it yourself on GarageBand, Logic Pro, Audacity, I don't know what kind of other programs are out there, it won't sound like it's radio ready, but it's a song. And you did it yourself. And maybe that will get you on a path to discovering new tools along the way to help you produce from home, for example. I'm using music as an example. So today has taught me, and there may be a couple people in my personal life who think I'm crazy for jumping into these opportunities or pursuing like my own business right now. I don't know. I think it's exciting. There's nothing bad about it, but I can see how some people in my life could be like, why did you spend that money? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And I'm just going to go for it. I think it's going to be worth it, even though I can't prove it. Even though I can't prove it right now, I just have this feeling. And as an intuitive, as a psychic, I know that feeling and gut feeling is all that matters. I know it does. And if it ends up not working out for me, well, you know what? At least I tried. At least I tried. I didn't invest in stocks. I didn't bet on a horse. This is not what that is. It's a pretty smart investment. And if it doesn't work out the way I want it to, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm living with that already, if that ends up being the case. So I hope you feel comfortable today. Actually, forget comfortable. I hope you feel empowered today to adopt the same attitude. And I'm not here trying to be Mr. Perfect, can-do attitude dude. I'm not perfect. The closest people in my life know that I am a big self-doubter. And today I am not doubting myself and my decisions. So I hope that this can rub off on you today if you're not feeling it recently. And if you feel like you're in that standstill with something you're enjoying, go to the next step. See what the next step is. Learn something new. Develop in a new way. So I hope that you feel encouraged hearing that. And I guess this was this was a very freestyle episode. There was I wanted to record this episode and talk about the business, the hopeful, soon to be confirmed business formation of Juan Francisco, plus the possible events. I wanted to talk about these two things in the spirit of helping us to push ourselves to the next thing in our life, the next thing in our journey. But I really didn't know what exactly I wanted to say other than just give that message. And I'm also, speaking of doubt, I'm doubting whether this is a legitimate episode for Third Eye Sight, which is about psychic abilities and the supernatural. But this is a big part of my life today, what's been happening. And what I talked about in this episode is it's a big part of me right now, and it has the potential to boost my confidence even more and to propel me into new paths. And as a working psychic medium, I think it's good to be honest with people about my business and my business goals. And because maybe it's boring to some of you, but as boring as it may sound, I'd rather be fully authentic and sharing these exciting moments as a business owner, because this is part of what it is to be a working psychic medium. But don't worry, I will not do a lot of episodes on being a business owner. I promise. Because I do want this to be mostly a podcast about psychic abilities themselves and the supernatural and ghost stories and apparition stories, near-death experiences, all the above. Past lives. But I wanted to dedicate this one episode to the excitement of embarking on the next step in your journey. And I hope, again, this serves as a sign that you are ready for your next step. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging me. And I will see you on the next episode. If you have a question or topic you want me to cover on Third Eye Sight, head to my website, juanfranciscospirit.com/contact, and send a message my way. If you really enjoyed this episode, leave a review wherever you listen. I'd really appreciate it.